Welcome! Today, I have a plugin that can change how you present a server to your player base. You may wonder how and what it could be. Then again, you remember, it's in the title of this video. That's right, Cinematic Studio. If you want to see what it can do, well, look no further. This intro was quite literally made with the plugin, so stay tuned. And no, that introduction was not a lie. That entire intro, other than my own voice, which I could have actually added into a resource pack and used it, was made with the actual plugin. However, in this case, I didn't go for the effort of adding my own voice into a resource pack. Little overkill just for a Minecraft introduction, but I can actually show you this plugin. If we do cinematic edit and then we can click on my introduction, which I made here, I can just click play scene and it will do that exact scene which you saw from the introduction. You may wonder how we have these black bars. Well, if you want that, I'll leave a link in the description down below. It's just a pumpkin with black bars instead of the actual pumpkin face. So I'll leave that for the content of Revivenode, and you can just download it by scrolling all the way to the bottom. While we're talking about it, Revivenode is a sponsor of this video, so if you guys want to check them out, make sure to leave them some love, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do these videos for you guys. Using the promo code Diamond all caps, you can get 15% off your very first purchase, and that gets even lower into the pennies. So yeah, make sure to use them if you want to continue supporting the channel. But as you can see there, it was super simple. It may look complex for a beginner, and it was for me, but surprisingly, it's really intuitive and pretty easy to understand. We are going to be making our own. We're going to keep it relatively simple. First thing I want to do is set up how I want it to happen. First, I want whoever goes over this red line so it gets activated, because you can make it so there are different regions to be activated. You can also make it so it's only activated once and then never again. You could also make it when they join, it will activate for the first time and then never again. Once I have that, what I want is for the camera just to be facing the trees, and then I want it to go all the way up. And then I wanted to cut to a different scene showing off this giant building up here. And then I just wanted to end right here, giving a prompt on the screen saying end. This couldn't get any easier. So to begin, what we will do is /cinematic edit, and we can click enter. We do have the one I made before, but what we're going to do is click create new cutscene. You also have a return button, but then you have this help, which will show you the dedicated wiki. You can also make the NPCs move. However, I do have an idea that you will require a secondary plugin called motion capture. I didn't add it for the sake of this video and the tutorial purposes, as that is a completely different plugin. I have made a video on it on the past. It should be relatively easy to connect both of them though. Now that's out of the way, let's do create new cutscene. And here we can write the name of it. So we'll call it Ted. What's important is we're first going to set up all the camera placements. Think of this as one long progress bar going from left all the way to the right. You have camera, NPCs, sounds, effects, and some more control buttons at the bottom, which we will get to very soon. And the most important one, the timeline. That was a little tricky for me at the beginning, but I got the hang of it real quickly. What we're going to do is first set up the camera position, and what I wanted to do is immediately teleport us to over here. So this is the angle that I want. What we will do is /cinematic input, and then we're going to do teleport. What teleport means, it's going to instantly teleport to this exact location. Once we click enter, it's saved. You can see that with the green glass, and then we'll click on the next one so we can move it all the way up here. And wherever you're looking, that's how it's going to look in the camera. Now we're going to do cinematic input. Instead of teleport, we're going to do move, because we want our camera to move from the bottom all the way to the top. And now we can choose the duration. I really suggest linking this up with the timeline, which we will get to in a bit. So I will just do 100, which in ticks is essentially 5 seconds. And the last thing we can do is precise or smooth. Depending on this, you will get different results. Precise means it's going to get into that location. Smooth, it's going to try to smooth it out. I would test both of them out. You can always change them afterwards, but I like smooth and I like precise. It's really up to you however you use them. Let's try out smooth. If we don't like it, we can just switch it. And now that we have that, what we're going to do is click on the next one. And then for this one, I wanted to teleport all the way up here. Again, we'll do cinematic input, teleport. And last but not least, we'll select the next one and finish it off down here, and we'll do teleport again. Now we have our camera. If I click play, it's not going to look the best. That was really quick and it really didn't show off what it can do. What I can do now is actually set up how we want it to start. This is where the timeline comes in. Always for the beginning, I suggest just keeping it 0 ticks. It doesn't really matter for the beginning portion of the camera unless you want a small delay there. That's really up to you. But we'll go into this one as the camera is going to be moving up. And we did 100 ticks, so I'll do it again, 100. Now we can decide how long we want for the 2 other positions. If I middle click this, it will teleport me exactly where the camera position is at. And now I can select, so I will do again 3.5, so I'll half it. I'll do 3 seconds, so 60 ticks. and then I will teleport us back down here, and I will select the amount of ticks for this one, which I will do 5 seconds, which is more than fine. Now, if I click play, you'll see that you can actually see the animation. I'm not liking smoothing so far because it is a smooth animation, but it is not as precise. That's where you can switch it up. However, the camera positions are working just fine. I will try to fix that first issue, so I'll teleport to the camera position, then I will left click to edit. I can just scroll up my commands, and instead of smooth, I'll do precise, I'll click enter. But if I click Q on a certain part of the timeline, it will actually start it exactly where it's at. So as you can see, precise is a little better. There is a little shakiness to it, but it's more of what I wanted for that presentation. And then we have these scenes, pretty easy. I could add more as well. You can make this go around your entire map, for example, but I'm keeping it simple for the sake of tutorial. Let's say we want to add an NPC. That'll probably be the last thing I add here. What we can do is click on NPC, and then I want the NPC to spawn right around here. So on this certain part of the timeline, I can click create new NPC. We can give it a name. I will just call this one Ted. We can set up a skin. I'm not going to be setting up a skin. Essentially, you just use a link directly from a skin and upload it. It's really that simple. You just put it in chat. And we can set up items. So for example, if I want to add a helmet, I can just go ahead in my inventory, grab a iron helmet, for example, and then just left click, I'm done. We can also switch the entity type, but in this case, I'm going to click finish, and I will spawn him in right here in the center of the door. Again, wherever you're looking is where the NPC will be looking once they actually spawn in. So I'm going to make it look to the right slightly, and then just punch the air, and the NPC will spawn in right here. It will not spawn before that, but it will stick around to the end. Of course, you can add more to spawn. And last but not least, we have effects and sounds. They're pretty straightforward in the same process of an NPC. I'll add effects, and then it's the same thing as sounds, and I'll just add effect here, and I will do lightning strike right at the beginning right here. But you're not limited to just a lightning strike. For example, you can add send chat message, send action bar message, send title message, and command. So you can perform different commands if you wanted to. In this case, I do want to add a command to the final part of the timeline. So I'll go into effects, and then I'll click on here. And for this one, I will add send title, and I will just put the end. I'll click enter. I'll put the time that I want it for. So we did about 100 ticks. So I'll add the same 100 ticks again. And I don't want any subtitle. So I'll just type the word empty, and that's it. It's complete. Again, if I wanted to add a sound, I can just do that, and we can do /cinematic. It essentially tells you everything that you need to do in chat. /cinematic inputs, and for this one you can add any sounds that's within the Minecraft game already, or you can input your own by using your own resource pack if you wanted to. And for that, I'll just do a chest open, and then I'll click enter, and there we go. We have a sound effect occurring at this exact part of the timeline. We can return to the main menu. We can preview the cameras, which is a really nice feature where, as you can see here, it will show you exactly where each camera is placed. It's very useful whenever you do need it. But let's go back into cinematic edit. Here we have the test, or Ted in this case. One thing, like I said, you can enable the bars in the screen, so by default it will never be there, but this will add a pumpkin into your player's head, and if you do have the resource pack enabled, you'll see bars on the top and bottom of the screen showing a nice cinematic. For this case, yeah, I'll enable it. Why not? And next thing we need to do is set a teleport location on cutscene. So once the cutscene is done, it will teleport us to a certain location. Let's say right about here, cinematic edit, go into Ted, and then I'll just click on that. That is a very long bar on the screen, and I have an ultra wide. But now, last thing is I want it so whenever someone walks through this exact area, it'll activate the cinematic. Cinematic edit, click on Ted, and then we'll go into cutscene triggers, and we can do play on join, which we're not going to do. Whoa. We will set up region trigger. We can do left click, and then it says select one corner, and then select another, just like that. So this region is now properly set up. And then it'll ask, got it. The cutscene can be triggered by multiple times, so essentially answer yes or no. I want it to be multiple times, so in this case, yes. And that's essentially it. We're done here. That's how quick we can actually set this up. So now if I just walk into this, just like that, we saw the lightning, we have the blank bars on the top and bottom, and then we get changed into different perspective. Here we go, the end. You have the chat sound effect. You could see our player within the second screen. It's really that simple to set up cool cinematics for your players to see in your server. You can enable this with a resource pack or not, but it's totally up to you. Anyway, that's the whole video right there. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys have, make sure to leave a like. This is what's suggested by you guys, so if you want any other videos, make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, I'm Diamond. You guys have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.